You have been trying to read the same paragraph for 11 minutes. You read the first sentence, then your phone buzzes, you check it. You come back, you read the first sentence again. Then a notification badge appears in the corner of your screen and something in your brain pulls you toward it before you have even decided to move. You are not lazy. You are not undisciplined. You are not broken. Your attention is being systematically extracted from you by systems that were engineered specifically to do that. And your brain has no natural defense against them because nothing like them existed until about 15 years ago. Your ancestors never had this problem. Not because they were stronger-willed, not because they were more virtuous, because the world they lived in for 200,000 years made deep focus the only option available. In 2004, Gloria Mark at the University of California, Irvine, began measuring how long people actually spent on a single task before switching to something else. The average, at that time, was 2.5 minutes. Mark repeated her measurements over the following 2 decades. By 2023, the number had fallen to 47 seconds. The average adult in the modern world now shifts their attention to something new every 47 seconds. Not every few minutes. Every 47 seconds. This is not a personality flaw spread evenly across a generation. It is a measurable neurological shift happening in real time, and it follows a pattern your brain was never designed to resist. To understand why, you have to go back to what attention actually is. Your brain does not have unlimited processing power. At any given moment, an enormous amount of sensory information is flowing toward it. Sounds, light, temperature, movement, the pressure of your clothing against your skin. If your brain tried to consciously process all of it simultaneously, it would be overwhelmed within seconds. So your attention system exists as a filter. It selects what matters. It suppresses what does not. It allows you to think. For most of human history, this filter operated inside an environment it was shaped by. Your ancestors woke up in a world where the relevant signals were specific and physical. A sound in the trees, a shift in the wind, the behavior of an animal at a distance, the face of another person. These signals were worth attending to because they were real, and because ignoring them had real consequences. Attention meant survival. The neuroscientist Michael Posner at the University of Oregon spent decades mapping the brain's 3 separate attention networks. The alerting network detects that something has changed. The orienting network directs focus toward that change. The executive network decides what to do next. These systems evolved to work together in a world where sudden signals meant something genuinely important was happening. Every notification on your phone activates the alerting network. Every red badge activates the orienting network. Every app that routes you away from what you were doing bypasses the executive network entirely. Your ancient attention architecture is being activated hundreds of times a day by stimuli that were engineered to trigger it, producing a response your brain cannot distinguish from a real threat in the environment. Your ancestors were not more focused than you because they had better self-control. They were more focused because nothing in their environment was constantly hijacking their alerting network. In 2022, a meta-analysis published in Psychological Bulletin analyzed data from 98,299 participants across 70 studies. It found that short-form video use, the kind delivered by TikTok, Instagram Reels, and YouTube Shorts, was directly associated with measurably weaker attention span and reduced inhibitory control. The correlation for attention was negative 0.38. For inhibitory control, it was negative 0.41. These are not small effects. These are the kind of numbers that appear when a factor is genuinely reshaping a cognitive function. The mechanism is not mysterious. Short-form content delivers a complete dopamine loop. Novelty, surprise, resolution. In under 60 seconds. When your brain experiences this loop repeatedly, it begins to recalibrate its expectations. Sustained tasks that do not provide constant stimulation start to feel different. Not harder exactly. Wrong. Like static. Like the absence of something that should be there. Your brain has not been damaged. It has adapted. The same neuroplasticity that allowed your ancestors to learn new hunting routes, read new terrain, and acquire new skills over a lifetime has been quietly redirecting your attention architecture toward faster and faster reward cycles. Adam Ghazali at the University of California, San Francisco, calls this the fundamental computational conflict at the center of modern cognitive life. Your brain is an ancient device running a new program it was never built for. The hardware has not changed in 200,000 years. The software has been rewritten every 18 months. Your ancestors sitting at the edge of a savanna could maintain focus on a single horizon for an hour without effort. Not because focus was easy, because there was nothing competing for it. The world around them changed slowly. New information arrived rarely. When something did move at the edge of the tree line, it was worth everything. That is the environment your attention system was calibrated for. A world of sparse, meaningful signals. Not the environment you are actually living in, which delivers thousands of signals per hour. Most of them engineered by someone who profits from your inability to stop. There is a concept in behavioral economics called the attention economy. The term was first used seriously by Herbert Simon, the Nobel laureate in economics, who wrote in 1971 that a wealth of information creates a poverty of attention. Simon was describing a theoretical problem. He could not have predicted the degree to which that problem would be industrialized. Every major technology platform you use is optimized for one thing: keeping your attention on the platform as long as possible. Not because the content is valuable, because your attention, multiplied by millions of users, can be sold. The variable reward schedule. The unpredictable mixture of interesting and uninteresting content is not an accident of design. It is the design. It is the same schedule B.F. Skinner identified in the 1950s as the most powerful mechanism for producing compulsive behavior in any animal with a dopamine system. Your brain is not weak. It is responding exactly as it was designed to respond, to stimuli that were engineered by teams of engineers and behavioral scientists, specifically to trigger that response. Here is what this means for the life you are trying to live. Every time you sit down to do something that requires sustained thought, writing, reading, learning, creating, solving a real problem, and find yourself pulled away within seconds, that is not a failure of character. That is the predictable output of an attention system being overstimulated in an environment it was never shaped for, having been gradually recalibrated by thousands of hours of deliberately engineered distraction. And here is the counterintuitive part. Your capacity for deep focus is not gone. The neuroscientist Neely Levy at University College London has spent years studying what she calls load theory. The idea that when you give your brain a task that genuinely fills its processing capacity, distraction becomes neurologically impossible. Not difficult, impossible. The signal from the distraction arrives, but there is no available processing channel to receive it. Your ancestors achieved this state not through discipline, but through necessity. When you are tracking an animal, navigating unknown terrain, or solving a physical problem that requires your whole body, there is no bandwidth remaining for distraction. The focus was not a virtue they cultivated. It was a byproduct of full engagement with a task that genuinely required them. The research on what restores sustained attention consistently points in the same direction. Not willpower, not motivation, full engagement, tasks with real stakes, work that resists completion, problems that required your whole mind rather than the fraction of it that short-form content has learned to satisfy. Your attention is not broken. It is responding to the wrong environment. Your ancestors were not focused because the ancient world was simpler. They were focused because the ancient world was real. Every signal mattered. Every task had consequences. Every moment of sustained attention was rewarded with something that actually changed their lives. You still have that brain. The one that can lock onto something for hours and not want to leave. The one that built fire and mapped stars and crossed oceans and wrote the books you keep meaning to finish. The one that, when it finally meets a problem worthy of it, becomes something you cannot interrupt even if you try. That brain has not gone anywhere. It is just waiting for you to give it something real to look at. You have been trying to read the same paragraph for 11 minutes. You know why now.